We are live and we can start with those.
A very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the student induction program Diksharam of Jehan College Autonomous. We are here today for the second session after an enlightening and interesting session of student induction program session 1 conducted the other day. Today we are here for the another session on family and society. And who best than speaker to address this session than our very own college counselor, Ms. Mehak Punjabi. She is a called counselor for Jain College and also secretary for the wellness cell. Ma'am has an experience of more than 20 years. She does counseling for students of Jain College and Jain College students and staff, and this counseling is confidential and without any judgmental. Ma'am is available for counseling from on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10:30 to 3 p.m. So I hand over the entire session to ma'am for a very looking forward to a very enlightening and interesting session from ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Thanks for accepting our invitation to address the students for Diksharam, that student induction program of Jahin College Autonomous. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Firdaus. And welcome, everybody. I hope that I can do justice to this session and the confidence that both Firdaus and Radhika and JHC have shown in me. Now, as we know that the session is on values, and the topic that I'm going to take up is family and society. Okay, so this I there will be question and answers in the end, and there will also be whatever questions you have. I expect you to keep them with you. Towards the end I will answer all the questions. Okay, and welcome. So let's start. Can we start the slide share, please? Yeah. Okay. Now, the topic for today is universal human values. And what we are talking about is the values which we will use to deal with family and society at large. So, um, yeah, so I'll just put the camera off so that you can concentrate on the slide. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We can start. Okay. So, uh, the first thing is I'll take you through the entire session. This is the agenda of the session. First of all, there'll be introduction. We talk about values, and there are a couple of things I'd like to talk about when it comes to values. Okay, there'll be something we'll talk about which is known as integrity, conflict resolution. We'll summarize the whole session, and there is a small activity planned for all of you towards the end. Now I'll just ask a couple of questions. The first thing is, when we move to our next slide, yes. Who would you like to be? Would you like to be Thanos, the ones who are in the Marvel universe, who've seen all the movies? Would you like to be Thanos here, or would you like to be Iron Man? Okay, so whatever choices you've made, just keep to yourself. And I think by now you would have made a choice of what you would like to be. Next slide. Whom would you choose to work for? Would you like to work for Reliance, or would you like to work for, sorry, the Tata Group? Okay. Now, obviously, these are very big companies in India. But what choice, given a choice, which of these would you like to work with? Okay. So, whatever choice you have made, please keep it in your mind. There are no right or wrong choices. Uh, yeah. Whom would you choose to vote for? Would you like to vote for Barack Obama? Given a choice, of course, we are not Americans, but just asking. Would you like to vote for Barack Obama, or would you like to vote for Donald Trump? Okay. Now, what has this got to do with values, right? You must be thinking, like, why is she asking us all these questions? Now, let me tell you, whatever choice you have made, You have made it because of certain things that are important to you. And we call these things values. Now, what does value mean? Values means something which is really important to you. As the word suggests, value. I mean, you place a lot of importance to this, and usually we get our whatever we do in our life, all the choices we make, they are because of certain values that we hold close to ourselves. It can be, you may think like, why suddenly the college is talking about values and all? We are not kids, and why are you all, this is a topic for moral science or philosophy. But let me tell you, values are more important than you think. Right from the kind of friends you have, right from the kind of products you choose, right from what kind of company or organization you want to work for. Every choice that you make in life is based on your value system. Now, you may not be conscious about this, but this is how it is. Uh, Now, what are values? Okay, let's come to that. Okay, what is value? It is nothing, but it is the importance you place on something. If you value something in your partner in life, or in business, you value something in your partner or your business colleague, or somebody, or maybe your friend doesn't share the same value system, there will be clashes. Okay, so knowingly, unknowingly, we all are, we all our whatever choices, whatever things we do in our life is based on values. And if your values don't match, there is going to be friction there. And if the values are poles apart, there will be clashes, there will be disagreements, and of course there will be conflict. So what do our values come from? Our values come from our thoughts, our words, our actions. And in fact, I can very safely say that our values also build our character. Your character, what you do automatically, subconsciously, it's your value which guides. It's like a guiding light which makes you do things, which makes you make certain choices. Okay, so now, what are values? Basically, they are fundamental beliefs, our belief system that guides us, motivates our attitudes and actions to help determine what is important to us. Now, for example, there is, suppose somebody who loves animals, they are very kind people, they don't like cruelty. And suppose there are two products. Okay, one says that uh, it's against cruelty for animals. Okay, and then there is one product which doesn't say anything. Which do you think this person will choose? Obviously, the person will choose the product if, obviously, if the products are the same, they are almost at the same price, you end up choosing something which you hold valuable to yourself. Suppose I love animals and I know that this product is cruelty free, I will definitely choose that. Okay, nowadays even certain advertisements, they make sure that the certain advertisements today are based on your value system. They appeal to your value system, because we know that consciously, unconsciously, everybody makes a decision depending upon what is important to them. Okay, it can be anything. So that's how the value systems are all over, and they impact our life in a very big way. Now, what we are going to talk about is family and relationships. Okay, now what does family mean, what do relationships means? It's, see, we are all relating to each other at any given time. No person exists in isolation. You are living in a society, so definitely you are interacting with somebody or the other, from as somebody as simple as your lift wala, your dhobi, your these are people, anybody whom you may not relate intimate with, but you also are relating to everybody in the world. So relationships are not only, something which is intimate, but it is with anybody that you relate with. Okay, then there are extremely close relationships like family. Okay, family could be some friends become family. They're as close as family. In fact, sometimes I see that the friends are sometimes even closer to you than your family. Then there are intimate relationships, like, if you are in a relationship or if someone's married, so that becomes your intimate close relationship. Okay, so first of all, what are we looking at? So it is, first we are looking at feelings in a relationship, right? Every relationship which is important to you, which is close to you, you are looking at, why you're relating to this person. You're relating to this person, one is either you're born in that family where obviously you don't have much choice, but with everybody who's close to you, you are, whenever you're relating to these people, a lot of feelings are involved. Okay, so you need to first of all recognize these feelings. If you are close to someone, you know that there is love there, you expect respect, you expect honesty, you may expect kindness. Okay, so first you recognize that these are the feelings that are important to me. And then you, in these relationships, what you're looking at is that you're looking at these people to fulfill these feelings, or kind of appeal to you in such a way that you it leads to mutual happiness. Okay, so nobody wants to get into relationships or be in a family where everybody is unhappy, right? So the ultimate goal is happiness in any relationship, okay, especially the close one. Okay, so the next is, what are we seeking from others? So as I told you, in close relationships, or even for that matter, I told you, if the relationships are not close, you expect that the person respects you. We are expecting trust, affection, care, some guidance, especially if the person is elder to you. You're expected that, that person guides you in certain way. Reverence, like, we hold our parents in very high esteem. We, to an extent, we revere them. There's glory, there's gratitude. Of course, if somebody is doing something for you, you expect that person to show gratitude. And obviously, in a relationship, when you're in a relationship, you expect feelings of love, of intimacy, etc. Okay, so this is in general the value system that most of the people would have. This is what you expect, and this is what you are also expected of in a relationship. Okay, now we spoke about relationships. Now, what is society? Okay, now society is everybody who is, who's after your family. The next layer or the next people you interact with is the society. The society could be as simple as your neighborhood, it could be your workplace where you're working, it could be your college where you're coming and interacting with various students, it could be your community. Okay, so all all these are interconnected. What this means is that when you are when you have a good value education, like, that this is important in society. We are not, see, the things that differentiate humans from animals is having right values, right? We know we don't have to hurt it's on the law of the jungle. We know we can't hurt the weaker sections. Just because somebody is weak doesn't mean that that person needs to be overpowered, right? So when you have good value system, when you are very well educated in the kind of values you need to have, it will lead to a right understanding of what values are, and obviously a fulfilling life. If you have values for your, if you value your health, like suppose today you value your health, you will have self regulation, you will do things to empower your health. You will work out, you'll do blah blah blah. It will also lead to a, if you have values for productivity, you know that you don't have to waste time, you have an exam tomorrow, or that as a entire college you need to do something productive. So you start doing things which are important to you, which leads to, if you are productive, it will lead to prosperity. So you may have better jobs, the society in general will have better jobs if they are productive. the society in general will prosper, right? And justice, that means you cannot get away with harming somebody, you cannot get away with being unjust. So this is society at large. This is what we are expecting, or these are the dimensions or the value systems that we expect when we live in a society. So, as spoken earlier, it starts with me, that is myself, my values. Then we move on to the values of the people who are close to me, how I relate, both in my family, in my friend circle, with my intimate, all my intimate relationships, and then society at large. So this, it is interconnected. And one, if your values are sorted, or if you have your values in place, obviously you will have your relationships in place, you'll have good, healthy, loving relationship. And once that is done, you will also have a good, healthy society and world at large. Okay. Now, ho- how do values reflect in personal relationships? Okay. Now, since we are talking about relationships, let's see how our values or our choices reflect in personal relationship. Now, I can give an example where, okay, there are husband and wife, okay, or maybe there are two people who are in a relationship. Okay, now there are one of them who values freedom. Okay, for this person, if this person is going to work, or if this person is taking up some job, or doing anything, his personal freedom values a lot, means a lot to him. Okay, he places a great deal of value on freedom. So he may work someplace where he has all the freedom. Maybe it's some kind of uh, freedom where he's looking at not being under anybody who is too rigid, or uh, some kind of self expression, etc. Okay, so when a person's looking at that, he may not place too much importance to money or materialistic gains or societal acceptance, because his core value system is that he needs freedom of expression, he needs to be free, he needs to work in an environment which gives him a great deal of freedom, creative freedom, and what have you. Now, suppose the wife or the lady of the in this relationship, she values money a lot. Okay, now she wants to climb the ladder, she wants to have a lot of money, and she doesn't really care much about freedom, or for that matter, she's looking for a lot of societal approval, having the big car, the big bungalow, and what have you. Okay, so now when these two people get together in a relationship, obviously there is going to be conflict. Now, the conflict will be because when you're looking, the man may value the freedom a lot, okay, but he may not value materialistic things. He may say that, I may take up a job which doesn't pay me much. However, I would like that, I am my own boss, or maybe my creative freedom is not curbed. Now, the woman may want money. Okay, she may look at, like, ye sab kya hai. It's better you do a 9 to 5 job where, okay, if the job is very rigid or whatever, you just bring in a lot of money, so that we can have that big car, we can have that big house, and whatever that we are looking at. Okay, so I'm not saying who is right or who is wrong. Okay, but what I'm trying to tell you is that in this relationship, over, okay, initially it may work for some time, but over some time, like if it goes on, there's definitely going to be conflict, because your value systems don't match. Okay, now he may want something else and she may want something else in life. Okay, so the conflict is going to arise, and there is going to be friction. The whole reason being that there is a mismatch of values in this particular relationship. Okay, now this we spoke about was about personal relationship. Now, how do values reflect in professional relationship? Okay, now suppose there are two friends who start up a business together. Okay, and They are looking at, like, obviously every business looks at making good money, and making a lot of profit and making a name for themselves and what have you. Okay, now there is one partner in the business, one friend or one business partner, who thinks that quality or honesty is most important to him. Okay, so he feels that whatever that we do, we need to give most amount of importance to quality. Now, suppose if it's a biscuit making factory. Okay, I'm just saying this now. When they do the logistics, what happens is they feel that in this particular product, what they are selling, suppose they are biscuits, if they reduce the quality to some extent, the projection of their profits is much higher. So the partner B tells partner A that, you know what, let's do one thing, that let us reduce the quality and then let us make good money out of this. Because all the brands in this industry, the biscuit industry, everybody is doing it, and nobody's going to know, and we are going to make great sales, and we are going to beat the competition. Now, the second partner, the second person, his value is making money. His value is greed. Okay, that by hook or by crook, I should have the maximum market share. And person A, that is the first person, for him, quality and honesty is most important. So he feels that, I will not compromise on quality. It is okay if we compromise on pricing. If we make less profit, it's okay. If we don't have a great market share, it is okay. So again, initially it may work, but over a period of time, every decision that they make, if there is a clash of values, definitely this partnership is doomed. The reason being that person A's value is not matching with person B. Okay, so this is how values reflect in professional relationship. Now, you may say that, you know what, ma'am, I'm not going to start a business or anything like that. Probably I'll take up a job. How does job in Microsoft sound? Good. Okay, so I'll probably take up a job with Microsoft. Okay, but do you know, when these professionals come and take interviews, maybe campus interviews or otherwise, what exactly they are looking at? Whether you know it or you don't, they are basically looking at your values. If your values are matching the company values, you'll be hired. Okay, just watch this. Okay, now I looked at, give me one second. Yeah, I looked at, uh, I did some research. Okay, now here is what Microsoft is saying we are hiring. Okay, and every company, even if it's an organization, it has some core values. Okay, now what are the values that they're looking at? They're looking at respect. So what they're saying is we recognize the thoughts, feelings, backgrounds of others. They know that they are important as our own. We are looking at integrity, that is, we are honest, ethical, and trustworthy. And we are looking at accountability. We accept full responsibility for our decision, actions, and results. So when they're looking at people, at hiring people, they are also looking at people who reflect these values, who come with this set of values, so that there is a match of values, and they can hire you. And you can say, like, okay, ma'am, in an interview you can always say, I'm a team player. I think that is one thing which always is said, right? That I'm a team player. I'm ethical, I'm honest, I'm whatever, blah, blah, blah. But do you think these values can be, you can just get these values overnight? Because in every decision that you'll make in your organization, it'll be a reflection of your values, right? So when we think that values are not important, so let me tell you that even in your professional life, when you are interacting with society at large, this is what they're looking at when they're trying to hire. Now we go to the next slide. Morgan Stanley. Okay. Now, when the core values that Morgan Stanley stands for is doing the right thing, acting with integrity, you think like a owner to create long term shareholder value, value and reward honesty and character. So basically, they're looking at people who have a good character. They're looking at people who put clients first, they keep the client's interest first, work with colleagues to deliver the best, then listen to what the client has to say, lead with exceptional ideas, win by breaking new ground, leverage different perspectives to gain new insight. So basically, here nowhere have they said that they are looking for people who come first in their class. They nowhere have they said that they are looking for people who have secured 90% in their class 12th or whatever, right? So what they're looking at is you as a whole. I think with every interview that you have, you also have a group interview. When you go for any place, like any of the Fortune 500 companies, the reason being that they want to see how well you are with other people and what sets you apart. Why should they hire you? Because they are looking at matching your values with theirs. Okay, we continue with Morgan Stanley. They're saying they want you to, obviously, we did this. Okay, commit to diversity and inclusion. This is very important. Okay, so accept, value individuals, the cultural differences. Okay, then champion an environment where all employees feel a sense of belonging. They feel that the people should be heard, are respected. They expect everyone to challenge behavior counter to our culture of inclusion, attract, develop, and retain talent reflecting the full diversity of society. Mind you, full diversity of society means that they are looking at people who accept everybody. So the value of inclusion or diversity is very important to them. So they expect people of color to work well with each other. They expect you to be completely inclusive of people of different cultures, of different religious background, etc. So this is something, if you don't have as a core value, sooner or later it will reflect in the decisions that you make within the company, because tomorrow you may be at a managerial, you may be you may get a job at an entry level, but once you get into the managerial level, or you go into you become the VP or the CEO of the company, this is what they are looking at. Okay, they're also looking at you to give back to the society, serve communities, build a better firm for the future of contributing to our culture, develop our talent through mentoring and sponsorship. So I'm not saying this is something which even the companies, the big five or the big Fortune 500 or whatever, these are big names. This is what they're looking for when they are hiring you. Okay. One last company, Walmart. Okay. Now let us see what Walmart is looking at. Okay. They are looking at service to the customer. First of all, the customer first. So what exactly the value that they're looking at is to be a good listener, is to value the other person's opinion, is to respect the customer. So listen to, anticipate, and serve the customer's wants and needs. Okay. Be frontline focused, support and empower associates, innovative and agile. Okay. So you have to come up with new ideas and you have to be agile. That is, you have to move with a lot of speed. Most important, respect for the individual. Listen, be visible, available, collaborate, lead by example, be humble, teach, trust, give honest and direct feedback, be inclusive, seek and embrace differences in people, ideas, and experience. Okay, strive for excellence, have high, set high goals, etc. Be accountable, take ownership of whatever you're doing. Okay, be strategic, make clear choices. Most important, act with integrity. So be honest, tell the truth, keep your promises, be trustworthy, be fair, Do right by others, be open, be transparent, be courageous, speak up, ask for help, make tough calls, and say no when appropriate. Okay, so this is what Walmart is looking for. So even now, if you still think that values are not important, and you think that, perhaps you could, make do with not giving too much importance to values, I think the world is changing. They are not looking only at people who who have good grades or have great degrees to their in their resume, but they are also looking at your character. They are also looking at where you're coming from. They're also looking at you, how respectful you are of others, how inclusive you are, how you act, how you behave, if you're a team player, if you are a giver, if you want to give back to the society. So be if you are humble. So this is what the companies of today are looking at. So okay, now there are some values which I would like to talk about. Okay, now what I found that, whenever we talk about respect, love, honesty, blah blah, this is something we all know. Okay, now there is one value which I feel that is most needed today, is integrity. Okay, so that is why I have taken up integrity, because if you see all, at least all the companies that we looked at, all the research that I have done, basically they place a lot of importance on integrity. Okay, so what exactly is integrity, right? Because even Walmart is saying act with integrity. Even Microsoft is saying that we want people who have a strong sense of integrity. Yeah, so what exactly is integrity? Now, integrity basically is do what you say and say what you do. Is honesty, it's one level above honesty. It's living in a very, very genuine fashion. It's doing things right even when no one is watching. It's doing what is supposed to be done and not what other people are expecting out of you. It is being keeping your values at such a high esteem that you won't compromise your value system for other gains in life. Okay, now let us see what integrity actually means. Now, integrity means being honest and having strong moral principles. Okay, so a person with integrity will behave very ethically and does the right thing even when no one is watching. So even if they are alone, even if they know that nobody knows what is happening, they will act in a manner. Why? Because they know that this is the right thing to do. Say for example, you go to a shop and the shopkeeper gives you more change than required. Okay, you buy something worth 100 bucks and you give a 500 rupee note, and the shopkeeper has given you 50 rupees extra. You know that the shopkeeper will not know. You can just walk out of the store, right? But giving back that 50 rupees is what integrity is, because you know that you're not supposed to keep that 50 rupees because that doesn't belong to you, right? Integrity is when nobody is watching, when nobody knows, still you will choose to do the right thing. Okay, now integrity basically consists of a lot of other values, so it is a subset of a lot of values put together. Yes. So what? How do you build integrity? It's not something which will come in a day or it will just suddenly happen. Okay. So what we are looking at when we are looking at integrity. So first of all, we are looking at accountability. Now, what is accountability? Is that when you make mistakes or when you do wrong, please take responsibility for your behavior, for your attitudes, and your values. What this means is that when I am wrong, when I know that I have done something which is hurt somebody, or where things go wrong, like suppose if I am the manager of a particular team, and I know that I have done the team did not do well. So instead of blaming XYZ, I take complete responsibility for the failure of the project. Okay. Or for a relationship not working. Now, suppose I know that I have made mistakes, blah, blah, blah. It's showing up and saying, I'm sorry. And it is admitting where you went wrong. Okay. You accept complete responsibility for your actions instead of blaming others. Okay. Trust. Now, what is trust? Trust is accepting each other's words, giving the benefit of doubt. Now, trust is a very, very important factor because without trust, there is no relationship, be it professional or personal. Okay. So, how do you build trust? Trust is something which doesn't, it doesn't come on the first day that you know a person, or you go to work for an organization, or you make friends with somebody with. Okay. So, trust is built over a period of time. So when you trust somebody, you will know that this person, whatever he's saying or whatever the person's doing, is the truth. He's telling the truth. He's doing it for your benefit. And also, when the person has done something wrong or has done something which probably may have hurt you, or you know that this was not the intention, you give the other person the benefit of doubt. Okay. Even in a professional environment, when we are talking about trust, you have to trust your team members. You have to trust the people around you, that when they say something, this is what they mean. They accept them for what they are. Okay. Now, cooperation is asking, not expecting. The cooperation is also accepting the change, making decisions together, willing to compromise. You usually make a win-win resolution in a conflict. So, cooperation means that whenever you have a conflict, whenever you have somebody in a team, that team can be a personal thing, like when you are in a relationship, or when you are in a professional way, or you are in a society in general, you are doing things to empower the other person, and you are doing your best so that the other person also is a part of that decision making process. You're cooperating. It's not me, myself, and I thing. Then there is support. Obviously, it's self explanatory. You support each other's choices. You become understanding. You offer encouragement. Okay. When you listen, you are non judgmental. So, this is how you give support. Then comes honesty. Honesty is being truthful. Honesty is saying what needs to be said. Honesty is being instead of saying what other person wants to hear, especially when you want to please your boss or you want to please somebody, you just say things just because they want to hear it. Okay. What honesty is? Honesty is saying things which probably are difficult to say, but they need to be heard. They need to be said. Safety is refusing to intimidate or manipulate anybody. Okay. Respecting somebody's physical space and expressing yourself non-violently. So, all of this together, along with a sense of respect, will give you integrity. Now, why do you need it? Obviously, when a person has integrity in his character, or when a person values integrity, what happens is somehow he becomes trustworthy. Somehow he becomes or he or she becomes a person everybody wants to be with, because you know that this person says what he does and does what he says. Now, say for example, you probably told your friend that we'll meet at so and so place at 12 o'clock, and you are late by half an hour. You know you're going to be late. Integrity is something as simple as calling up and saying that, you know what, I'm going to be late by half an hour. So please, I mean, there's something I cannot, I couldn't avoid. So I'll be late. Integrity is when you know that you cannot make it on time and you call up and you inform that person. Why? The reason being that it just shows that you respect the other person's time. It shows that you appreciate the other person, that the other person is waiting for you, but you anyway make that call and say, you know what, I'm going to be late and I'm going to show up at blah blah time. The phone call is not necessary. Your friend will still wait for you. But when you are when you have integrity, it shows how much you value the other person, right? It shows how much you value the other person's time, the other person's attention. You show that you appreciate that person, whatever the person is doing. And that is what integrity basically means. It reflects your character. Okay. Now, yeah, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is conflict. Now, you may wonder that, what is conflict doing in values? Okay, now, as I told you, that when your values don't match, there are bound to be clashes. There is bound to be struggle. There is bound to be a lot of fights. There is bound to be a lot of unexpected needs. Your expectations are not met, so it is imperative and it will result in conflict. Okay. Now, what is conflict? Conflict is, it's a struggle or a clash of interests, opinion, or even principles. Okay. Now, what conflict is never about the surface issue, right? Usually we think that, acha, the conflict is something as simple as, I told you, you told your friend that you will be meeting that person at a particular time and you're late by half an hour, right? Now, when you reach that place or wherever you were supposed to meet and you're late, what will the friend feel? If you have obviously not shown integrity and not informed, feel that, what, you don't he may start fighting that, you are half an hour late. You all may both end up fighting, and the other person might say that, I'm waiting over here since half an hour, you don't, what is this, you are always late, and blah blah blah. But that is just a surface issue. The bottom line is, what this person is trying to say is, you do not value me, you do not respect my time, you take me for granted. Okay, so whenever there is a conflict, this clash or the struggle is, the surface issue is only the primary issue. Okay, below that there is a lot more. So I'll give you an example. Okay, now, there was this person. Okay, there was this a receptionist at a hotel. Okay, and she was in charge of allotting rooms in the hotel. Right now, the hotel was running full, and it was quite a renowned hotel, but it was always full and stuff like that. And incidentally, that particular night, they did not have any extra rooms to be given to any guest whatsoever. So they had to refuse a lot of guests. Now, there is this one person, he is completely drunk, and he probably is under the influence of some drugs or something. And he comes there and he demands that he be given a room. Now, the receptionist there at the hotel says that, I'm sorry, sir, but there is no room available and I cannot give you a room, which is the fact, okay, because the hotel is running full. Now, this man, he removes a knife out of his pocket and he puts this knife on her neck, and he says that, if you don't give me the room, I'm going to stab you, you're going to be dead. Okay. And obviously, this is a very very conflicting situation. The reason being is, one person wants X and the other person cannot give that whatever that person is desiring. So there is a conflict. Okay. However, there is no room that this person can give. No rooms are empty. So what do you think this person should answer? Okay, to a person when she's been held at gunpoint, or probably at the is on the other end of the knife. Let me tell you what happened. Okay, in half an hour, in half an hour's time, both these people became friends. And by the end of it, the person who was holding the knife at this woman's throat said sorry. Okay, now let me tell you what transpired. Okay, it's a very very unlikely situation, but this woman had learned about values. So what happens is, when this man comes and he puts the knife on her neck, this woman says that, uh, I'm sorry, sir, it must be, you must be feeling really bad because no room is available, and you must be feeling rejected. And then this man says, yes, just because I'm a drunkard, and just because, you think I don't have money in my pocket, you think you have the right to say things to me and just uh, blatantly tell me lies that there are no rooms. So then she says that, yeah, I understand you seek a lot of respect and this is no way to treat anybody. And then he tells her about how his family has not respected him over a long period of time because he always comes home drunk, how his friends have not he's broken all the friend have everybody has broken relationships with him, and blah blah blah. So what happens is, over a period of time, this she starts sympathizing with him, and he eventually gets up and he says, I'm sorry for what I've done. And then the lady says that, okay, I'm sorry, we really don't have any room. And he says, I'm sorry, and they both go their way. Now the thing was, on the face of it, it appears like as if this is about the room, right? Today, if this lady would have said, you know what, sir, I really don't have a room, or if she says that, you know what, I can give you the office or the filing area, or I can give you the storeroom where you can hang out, you think this guy would have agreed? I don't think so. But when she realized that the conflict is not about the room, it is about this person not being, this person is not feeling heard. This person is feeling rejected. This person is feeling that somehow nobody cares for him. Okay. So it becomes an underlying conflict. So whenever there is a conflict, it is more about somebody's unmet need, or somebody's value system not matching with the other person. Okay. How do you resolve conflict, or how do you conclude a resolution, or how do you come to a conclusion where both of them benefit? It is, conflict can be defined, resolution can be defined as the informal or a formal process that two or more parties use to find a peaceful solution to their dispute. Now, the key word here is peaceful. Okay, not through fighting, not by hitting each other, or one person says, okay, we'll do whatever I feel is right. That is not the way you resolve conflict. Okay, so I will show you a short video. Okay, it's from this movie Breakup, uh, in which Jennifer Aniston has, just go through this clip, please.
Oh, no, no, my demo!
Well, I'm gonna go do the dishes.
Cool.
It'd be nice if you help me.
No problem. We'll get them a little bit later. I'm just gonna hit the streets here for a little bit.
Gary, come on. I don't want to do them later. Let's just do them now. It'll take 15 minutes.
Oh, honey, I am so exhausted. I just honestly want to relax for a little bit. If I could just sit here, let my food digest, and just try to enjoy the quiet for a little bit. Get some, get some, get some. That's what happens. And we will, we can clean the dishes tomorrow.
Gary, you know, I don't like waking up to a dirty kitchen.
Who cares?
I care, all right? I care. I busted my ass all day cleaning this house and then cooking that meal, and I worked today. It would be nice if you said thank you and helped me with the dishes.
Fine. I'll help you do the damn dishes.
Oh, come on. You know what? No, that's not what I want.
You just said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes? Why?
See, that's my whole point.
Let me see if I'm following this, okay? Are you telling me that you're upset because I don't have a strong desire to clean dishes?
No, I'm upset because you don't have a strong desire to offer to do the dishes.
I just did.
After I asked you.
Jesus, Brooke, you're acting crazy again.
Don't you call me crazy. I am not crazy.
I didn't call you crazy.
Just
I didn't
did.
call you crazy. No, I didn't. I said you're acting crazy.
You know what, Gary? I asked you to do one thing today, one very simple thing, to bring me 12 lemons, and you brought me 3.
God damn it. If I knew that it was going to be this much trouble, I would have brought home 24 lemons, even 100 lemons. You know what I wish? I wish everyone that was at that goddamn table had their own little private bag of lemons.
It's not about the lemons.
Well, that's all you're talking about.
I'm just saying it'd be nice if you did things that I asked. It would be even nicer if you did things without me having to ask you.
Well, I do seem to remember doing something for you this morning without you asking.
Gary, come on.
What? I'm
You
serious.
know what? No,
Come
I'm
here.
serious. I really am. Come on, you knew I was working today and I made that meal and you could have thought to yourself, you know what you could have said? I think I'm gonna get Brooke some flowers.
You said on our very first date that you don't like flowers, that they're a waste of money.
Every girl likes flowers, Gary.
You say that you don't like flowers. I'm supposed to take that to mean that you do like flowers?
No, this is not about you're not getting it. You're not getting this, Gary. Okay, it's not about the lemons, it's not about the flowers, it's not about the dishes. It's just how many times do I have to drop hints about the ballet?
You know I can't stay. Brooke, come here. We talked about the damn ballet. I hate the goddamn ballet. You got a bunch of dudes in tights flopping around for 3 hours. It's like a medieval techno show. It's a nightmare. I sit there in a sweat. The whole thing. I do. Wondering when the hell's the goddamn nightmare gonna end? Go to a damn ballet.
It's not about you loving the ballet, Gary. It's about the person that you love loves the ballet, and you wanting to spend time with that person.
Not when they're at the ballet.
Okay, forget the ballet. Forget the ballet. We don't go anywhere together.
We just went to Ann Arbor together.
To Ann Arbor, to the Michigan Notre Dame game. You think screaming drunk kids and leprechauns doing backflips, that's fun. That's fun for me. Come on, man. I did that for you. How do you show up for me?
I'm up on the bus every goddamn day for you.
Come on.
I'm busting my ass to be the best tour guide in the damn city so I can make enough money to support both of us, and hopefully you won't have to work one day.
I want to work.
All I ask, Brooke, is that you show a little bit of appreciation, that I just get 20 minutes to relax when I come home instead of being attacked with questions and nag the whole damn thing.
You think that I nag you?
That's all you do. All you do is nag me. The bathroom's a mess. Your belt doesn't match. Hey, Gary, you should probably go work out. Nothing I ever do is ever good enough. I just want to be left the hell alone.
Really? Is that what you want, Gary? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
That's what you want?
Yeah.
Fine, great, do whatever the hell you want. You leave your socks all over this house, dress like a pig, play your stupid ass video game. I don't care, I'm done.
What?
I am done. I don't deserve this. I really do not deserve this. I deserve somebody who gives a shit. I'm not spending one more second of this life with some inconsiderate prick. You're a prick.
Okay. Now, in this whole scene, by the way, it's from the movie The Breakup. Okay, do you think the fight or the conflict is about the dishes, or is it about the flowers that Gary didn't give Brooke, or is it about going to the ballet, which he doesn't like, or is it about she nagging him all the time? No, these appear to be the surface issues. Okay, the bottom line here is what is important for her is not important for him. Okay, there is usually a clash between two people because their value systems or what they hold very valuable or dear to them is not matching over here. Okay, now here, when she says that I do the dishes, I do the cleaning, and you don't appreciate, basically she values appreciation, she values being heard, she values love. She's not getting it, so she tries to say it in ways which may not be accurate, but she's trying to say things in ways which are not actually addressing the underlying issues. Okay, when he feels that he's worked the whole day, he goes from morning to night, he goes and works, and he feels that she doesn't appreciate it. He feels that he's not being heard. He feels that she holds she doesn't even acknowledge what he does for them. So basically this is a huge conflict, okay, because there is a conflict of expectations, there is a conflict of what is important to both of them. Okay, now how do we resolve conflict? Okay. Okay, I think there is some issue. Uh, so, can we play the next video or no? Okay. Now, there is a better way to resolve the issue. Okay. Now, how do we resolve issues? I think Radhika, it's okay if we don't play the next video. I will just tell them how to resolve conflict. Can you just go to the slide, please? Yeah. Okay. So, how do you resolve conflict? First of all, the way these two were doing is not the way to resolve conflict. Okay. You need to first of all focus on the problem and not the person. Okay, so if you say that I feel unappreciated, you do this and you do that, that is not what the person hears. The other person hears blaming, the other person hears that I'm wrong, and the other person becomes defensive. So this is not the way to resolve any conflict. The way that you could resolve conflict is use reflective listening. What this means is that when you are trying to resolve a conflict and you are genuinely trying to come to a solution, you will use things like, suppose the person says, I'm really angry. You have done blah, 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 which has really, pissed me off. Okay. Now, when you are doing reflective listening, you try and repeat what the other person is saying so that the other person feels understood. So when a person says that I'm really angry because you didn't do the dishes, or you have messed up the whole house, so you are supposed to reflect, saying that I see that you are very upset because of the mess lying in the house, so the other person will feel understood. Okay. Now, the other one here is use I statements instead of you statements. Usually, when you use you statements, we tend to blame somebody. You are like this, you are blah, blah, you are inconsiderate, you don't do this, you don't do that. So, when you start saying you this, you that, what happens is it sounds more like you're accusing somebody. But when you use an I statement, when you say that I feel, or I want you to be more appreciative whenever I do the dishes, or I feel that whenever I do the dishes, you do not acknowledge what I'm doing. When you use I statements, the other person, the focus comes on you. Okay. And the other person doesn't jump to being defensive. Okay. So you diffuse what you're saying. Hmm? Next is you take time out. Whenever you feel that the problem or what you're saying is escalated to a very high extent, you come and you take a deep breath and you say, you know what, this whole this whole discussion is going out of hand. Let us take some time out, let us think about it, let us sleep over it, and then we will talk about it when we both are calm, when we both have thought this through. Because sometimes when the problem goes on escalating, you end up saying hurtful things, you end up saying things which you basically are not, you may regret later. Okay. And the last second last is work towards a resolution. Okay, we what happens is usually you bring up, yesterday you did this, last year you did this, you always do this. That is not going to help you come to any conclusion or come to any kind of resolution. In fact, it is going to add a lot of fuel to fire. So when you are working towards a resolution, try and find out solutions instead of blaming. And sometimes there are some problems which have no solution. There are some things which you completely disagree with. So at that time, you should, like an adult, like a mature person, try and understand that this not just because I disagree with this person doesn't mean that I don't love this person. Just because I disagree this with this person doesn't mean that we need to keep fighting. So you agree to disagree. There are certain things that we will never agree to, which is okay. You stick with whatever seems important to you. Let me stick with whatever seems important to me. And let us agree to disagree. What this shows is that you value the relationship more than you value being right. Okay. So these are a few things which will help you resolve conflict. Okay. In fact, we had a video which unfortunately I cannot play. Let's come to the summary. Okay, so now we saw conflict. Now let us talk about compatibility. Okay, conflict is when values don't match. So what is compatibility? Compatibility is basically when values do match. So when you say that I'm compatible, or when you say that I really enjoy this person's company, or really enjoy working for this organization, or I really enjoy you know whatever, it is basically, it's nothing but consciously or unconsciously, it's a compatibility of your value systems. What is important to you is also important to the other person. When your value systems match, you become compatible. When your value systems match, you end up doing things which make both of you happy, and it becomes effortless. Therefore, the definition of compatibility actually becomes choosing people who value what you value. So, whatever is important to you, if it is equally important to the other person, you will always be compatible, both personally and professionally, and at a society, as a society at large. Now, I have a small activity. Okay, I expect you to remove your journals and do this activity. Mm, just 1 minute. I'll share the screen. Okay. Okay. Now, okay. Here we have some values that we have noted down. Okay. And these are some questions which I would like you to answer. You can take time. You have 15-20 minutes to finish this whole exercise. Okay. And I would like you to do this. So, okay. So let's explore our values and what is important to us. Okay. Now I'll give you all 2 minutes to take a pen or paper and start writing. Okay. When you're ready, we can start. Okay. So, okay. The first question is, name a person, real or fictional, you respect or admire, and what traits of theirs do you appreciate? Okay. And what do you think this person really values? As in, what are his value systems? If you're done with that, the next question is, describe what you would do on an ideal day, and how does this compare with a typical day? So, describe what you would do on an ideal day, and how does this compare with a typical day? And your follow up question will be, which typical daily activities reflect your values and which don't? Okay, the next question is, describe one of your close friends and what makes you close. And the follow up question is, what values do you share with your friend? Next question is, imagine it's your birthday 15 years from now, and your friends and family give speeches about your life. What do you think they say? Which of your values are recognized in their speeches? Okay, so you can take a screenshot of this if you want, and then you can uh, write this in your activity in your journals. I will be giving you all 5 minutes to complete these questions. Can we go to the next slide? 1 minute. If you haven't written down, you can take a screenshot of this and you can do your activity. Okay. The next set of questions is here. Okay. What is your dream job and why? And what does this say about your value system? Next question. Imagine you come into a large fortune that allows you to never work again and buy anything you want. What would you do? What do your actions say about your values? Okay, now we go to the next question. When you were younger, what were your wishes for the future? How have your values changed as you've gotten older? Next question.
Meghna, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, yeah, tell me.
Can you just check the chat?
Oh, yeah, 1 minute. I'll have to
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
sharing the
yeah.
screen. 1 minute. Okay. Uh, okay. Fine. I believe that you guys would like to know. 1 minute. Just okay. What we are looking at over here is, as we said, that we have to explore our own value systems. Okay, the why we have to do that, as I told you, that anywhere that you go, maybe when you are in relationship, or maybe when you are working for an organization, or you're interacting with anybody, what where you come from, how you talk, how do you behave, basically it comes from your own set of core values. Now, why is it important to know about your values? Of course, you will, once you know about your own values, you will also know what to expect. Like, if I value honesty, I know that I will be compatible with somebody who values honesty as well, right? So, this whole sheet of value exploration basically makes you think, makes you introspect, it makes you know that whatever you're doing, when it comes to values, still you don't know what you really want, or what is important to you. You cannot know what to expect, or what kind of relationship you want to get into, or what can you expect from society at large. That's why we're going through this whole exercise. Now, say for example, I'll just run through this whole thing again quickly. One is, name a person you respect or admire. What traits of theirs do you appreciate? Now, suppose you admire, say I admire Mother Teresa. Okay, now why is it that I want this trait? I mean, why do I like Mother Teresa? Maybe because I like kindness. That is the thing I value the most. Okay, so that is the reason I may choose this person. So it will make me realize that what value is important to me is kindness. Okay, what would you do on an ideal day? How does this compare with a typical day? Which typical daily activity reflect your values? which don't. Maybe there are some people who get up in the morning and pray. Okay, why would that be a part of their day? Maybe because they are very religious. They value whatever their religious principles tell. Okay, so this will be a reflection of your value systems. There is a maybe a family who's extremely religious, right? So you will reflect in your daily activity the values that you hold true. Okay. uh, so on and so forth. That is the reason you have these questions. Now suppose your closest friend, what makes you close? Why are you friends with this person? You are friends with this person because both of you might share some common values. Okay, maybe the friend is somebody who always is somebody who is extremely trustworthy, is loyal. Maybe you value loyalty. Okay, this will show you what values you share with your friend. Okay, and 15 years from now, how will somebody talk about you, right? 15 years from now, have they recognized what you are? Will they recognize your values? Does your action, does your words, does your behavior, do your relationships reflect the kind of values that you have? This is a question that covers that. Next is, what is your dream job and why? Now, suppose my dream job is basically to work for NASA. Okay, why would you value what does this say about your values? Maybe I like to explore. Maybe I like to uh, do things that are different from what other people do. Right. So this will talk about your values. Okay. Next is, you have a large fortune, आपको lottery लग जाती है. What will you do about the money? Some people will say, I will donate the money to somebody who doesn't have. Okay, so what will this reflect? It will reflect your values. Okay, about sharing, your values about giving to the underprivileged. Okay. So the next question is, when you were younger, what were your wishes for the future and how have your values changed today? Maybe when you were younger, you may think that, having a big bungalow, a big car was everything, right? But today you may think that, okay, it is okay if I don't have, but for me, health is really important. So today your values might have changed. Okay, what are your three most prized possessions? Maybe your family, maybe your some relationship, maybe your job. So when you talk about your three most prized possessions, you'll also come to know why you value these items. Why? What do you hold true in this? Okay, this is the last card. What are the three things you find yourself thinking of most? Do these thoughts reflect your values? Now, today, if I'm thinking about my future all the time, if I'm thinking that, oh my God, I need to, be very successful in life, I need to, uh, I should be known everywhere in the world and I should do this and all that. So, this reflects what is important to me. Maybe fame is really important to me, right? So, this is the value which will be reflected. Now, a genie in a bottle appears and grants you three wishes. What will you wish for? Okay, now somebody might wish that that person is the richest man on earth. The other person may wish that all the diseases go away from the entire planet. Somebody else will wish something else. So, what you wish for will help you explore what is important to you. Okay, now this is the last of the questions. What is something that makes your family unique? Okay, what values have you learned from your family? Because our value systems are very much based on the value systems of our family. Okay, usually it is seen that our values come from the values of our family. What our family holds valuable or holds important is also important to us. What are your goals in various areas of your life? Professional, family, personal. Okay, so, do you think people will be supportive of these goals? Again, these goals will reflect your values. Now, guys, you can take a screenshot of this and fill in your journals. Okay, now we come to the last two questions. Okay. When someone knows you, what will they say is important to you? That shows what you hold important, what you give importance to. Okay. Again, if you could send a message to everyone on earth, what would it be? How does this message reflect your value system? And the most important question, what does success mean to you? And how does society define success? Now, success for somebody might mean that, they become the CEO of the company. They, for somebody else, success might be probably being running an NGO, a successful NGO, right? Then you would say that, yes, I'm successful in life. So, your definition of success, or for somebody, success means having great relationships, having great friends, okay, having people you can depend on. So, what success means to you will define your value system. Okay. This is the last question. If you spoke to a stranger for 5 minutes at the grocery store, how would they describe you? What would this person say you value? Would they be right? Now, suppose you meet a complete stranger. Now you strike up a conversation, and over a, when even with that 5 minute interaction, will you are going to know what is important to this person, right? Is this person respectful? Is this person somebody who cares for others, or is this person polite, right? So just by interacting with a person, you are going to be able to find out what is important to this person. Okay, so this was an exercise for your journal about values. Please take screenshot and you can fill up your journal accordingly. Okay, now I'll stop sharing. Okay, so this was the activity. I hope all of you do the activity, and I think you all are supposed to submit the journal to by the end of all the sessions. So this is the activity that I would like you to do for values where society and relationships are concerned. Okay, and lastly, thank you so very much for giving so much of your time and attention to this session, and I hope that we've achieved whatever that we set out to achieve in this session, and it has been fruitful. Uh, so now, Radhika, I would like to open the floor for Q&A. So you can enable the comments. Guys, I'm ready for questions.
Students, you can refresh your page to see that the chat is enabled. Please ensure that you ask questions in an appropriate manner.
Um, okay.
Students, I also request you not to leave the session since we have an attendance form that you would have to fill in. We'll be releasing it after the Q&A session, so please stay put.
Radhika, somebody is asking where to submit the activity.
Students, you have to make your activity entries in the journal that I showed you how to make and how to save in the introductory session. Once you have filled in in that journal, we'll be taking that submission towards the end. Okay, so as of now, you have to make your entries in that journal and keep it with you. We are also releasing the Google form for attendance. Please ensure when to submit it. Again, we will most probably collect these journal entries from you in the concluding session. Okay, I hope you have got that. We've released the form also. I have pinned it. Please ensure that you fill in your attendance for this session. And if you have any questions, the journal is that Word document. Yes, you're right. So, those who didn't attend the introductory session, basically, you have to create a Word document with your name, roll number, class, etc. Save the Word document also using your name, your class, and name it as an SIP journal. And whatever activities the guest speakers are making you do in the session or giving you to reflect on post the session, you can add it to that journal. Okay, it's a self reflection journal, and again, it's not a graded activity, but that journal submission is important from the certification point of view. Okay, I hope that's clear. um, the form is not accepting replies. Okay, just a second. Fidos ma'am, if you could just enable replies for the Google form, we'll just do it. Yeah, we are accepting replies now. You can refresh and try again. Please refresh and try again. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, we are still open for Q&A with Mehak ma'am. Back to you, Mehak ma'am.
Yeah, okay, guys, thank you so much. So, since there are no questions, I would assume that everybody has understood the session. So, I'm just assuming that that is the reason nobody is asking questions. But I just hope I've driven home the point that when we say or when we talk about values, I hope I was able to convince you or at least get this point across that values are really important, and consciously, subconsciously, we make all the decisions that we make in our life based on our set of values. Now, values, when they match, a person is extremely compatible with the family or with the intimate relationships or even with the society at large. But when there is a conflict of values, the person usually gets into a conflict. There might be fights, and there might be a complete that is what may lead to wars, that may what leads to unrest, may lead to a lot of things. So when you realize what is important to you, I hope you will make the right choices. That is the whole idea of the session. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience and listening to me with so much attention. Thanks a lot.
Um, Hello, once again. Good evening to all of you, and thank you very much, Mehek ma'am, for conducting such an enlightening session and touching upon a lot of core and relevant issues and providing them valuable insights and valuable perspective. Students, we really appreciate on the valuable time that you have given to the student Diksharam, that's the student induction program, the attention with which you were listening and your response in the chat boxes which were there, and sparing your valuable time in the evening for attending all these sessions and showing your enthusiasm and everything, even for the offline things that you all are showing. We really appreciate and we applaud the efforts that been given by all of you all. So once again, thanks to all of you on behalf of the Student Induction Program team of Jehind College. We thank you once again for attending this session. We hope to see you once again on Monday for our next session. If there's any query, anything, please do get in touch with us. We are always very happy to help you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.